So I got an email from this new company the other day called Lunacy Audio, which is like lunatic, another word for lunatic. And they asked if I would like to review this plugin called Beam. So they sent it over. And I was really intrigued because just the way it looks is pretty wild. And I'm always interested in plugins that are kind of pushing the envelope of what we're doing here in music. So I wanted to share it with you guys. On this video, I'm actually going to start with audio examples where I usually kind of walk you through the plugin. We're going to listen to this thing so you can hear what it's doing, and then we'll break it down so you understand more. Let's go. Okay, so first of all, this thing looks nuts, but in a good way. I guess the Lunacy Audio makes sense. But I'm going to play this, and then I'll take it out of bypass, which is this button here in Studio One, and I'll switch through some presets as it plays along. Okay, so as you can hear, you can get 1,000,001 sounds out of this. This could work really well for not just mixing, obviously, but a lot more so for sound design and stuff like that. All right, so I'm gonna bring it back to default with nothing on there so I can show you guys how this works. So basically, you have 3 nodes, as they call. You have space, which is like a reverb. You have grains, which is a granular effect. And then you have basic filtering. Right out the gate, you could set this up as just a reverb, and you just drag and drop it into this line, and you'll suddenly have reverb. And you have your mix knob here. You also have a mix knob. When you click on the reverb, you have a mix knob here too. And then with that, you get pre-delay. You can stretch it, which we'll get into in a minute. And then you have this mix motion, which gives you more modulation and waveforms to mess with the sound as well. So just in the reverb unit alone, you can go pretty in depth. And over here are the spaces. It's a convolution reverb, and it comes with tons of different sounds. Small spaces, large spaces, chaotic spaces. And you'll notice this bubble thing, which reminds me of some alien type thing, changes as you load the different ones in. Like, watch. See how we changed it to warp textures? And now we have this. Which is a wild sound, or you can just do something simpler, just like small spaces, and you see how it switched there. And then also has echoes too. I don't know, I get lost with this plugin. You just start playing it and hitting buttons, and it kind of drives you, like, puts you into some weird trance. So that's the reverb, right? Really basically. And if you don't want, you just click it and hit delete. And then we have, let's get into the grains, right? Let's see what this can do. We just drag it up and hit play. And you can see as we hit delay, it starts delaying. And you even see these little dots dancing around the grains? When you hit the delay, there's more. They start tracing. Same thing here. You have a bunch of different choices you can pick from. Let me just go through them really quick. And once we brought the mix down, you can notice this is something that could actually be usable in a song. I do wish they had like a lock on here so you could just keep the mix locked. Maybe they'll do that eventually, but... Okay, so then you can change the rate and the size. Let's mess with that for real quick. The shape here. The pitch. And then we can turn the delay on or off as well. Just wild, right? Okay, so then say we wanted to keep that, then you can add a filter too. So this is where it starts getting exploratory. We can put the filter on and put a low pass there and try that. So it gets wild. Now, what I would like to do, I like the grains stuff, but it's not completely my cup of tea. I'm more of a reverb filter guy, but what you can do is throw reverbs on and filter it either before or after. And also what you can do is you can make multiple lines. So I can take this, now it's split this into two. So here will be like, say our wet, we could put this all the way up to 0, and this would be our dry, right? And then we can click on the lines here and just mute this whole line. And now it's just the dry signal. So say we liked that, right? And say we wanted something else though, we can make another line and add another node and put some grains in there and see what we can come up here. And just like that, in a matter of a minute, we came out with a really unique sound for this drum loop. Let's take a listen to it on some vocals. All right, so this is my friend Rhea Raj. Make sure to check her out, little vocal line from one of her songs. Let's just play it and roll through it. They actually have a whole bunch of vocal presets. So let's listen through to some of those and see if we can find something that we really like.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you.
I mean, that's crazy right out the gate.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too.
So that might be a little too much if you were just using it on a vocal. Let's try something else.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too. I'ma be a new type.
So this one's interesting. It's using a reverb on either channel like this, right? But it's sending one to the left and then, let's see, one to the right. And so you're getting different reverbs at the left and right channel, which is pretty cool. And they're actually using Through the Wall on this one and then Dumpster Dive on this one. Now, another thing this has built into it is LFOs and macros. And some of them are built into the preset. Like this one, for instance, if you hit this knob up here, the opening mapping, you'll see that the macro is space A mix and there's a macro for space B mix. So what that's doing is, as we check it on, we hit this macro over here, and it's going to change the space or the mix of that space. And it's not just doing this one, it's doing both of it, okay? So you can actually control the space on both of them at the same time. The mix, sorry.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too. I'ma be a new...
And you can do the same thing for the LFOs. If you have this LFO over here, you can drag it, and as you drag it, you'll see which parameters that it can work on. So let's try it with pre-delay, right?
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie.
So that's a little weird, but let's try something different, like a different shape, right? Let's try this one, something a little more wavy.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you.
That's wild. Let's also try it on the mix.
My mind.
And let's take this one off. So we can go up here and kill the LFO, what's that, LFO2? You just kill it right here.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too.
So now it's the LFOs modulating our mix, which is pretty cool. Let's try a few more.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too. I'ma be a new type. My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't.
So many possibilities. And then the last thing really quick is see this little button here? You can actually just generate a preset. So you'll hit the button and it will just come up with something wild and you could build upon that too.
My mind was running in circles the moment I met you. Don't lie, cause once you go under, I know you'll be hooked too. I'm my mind was running in.
All right, so as you can see, there's multiple things you can do with this plugin. It is pretty wild. I think it'd be great for sound design guys. You could go to town with this thing. As a mixing tool, it could work too. You just gotta have to figure out what kind of setups you're gonna wanna use for it. But for coming up with something creative, I think this is one of the cooler tools I've seen in a while. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you need your songs mixed or mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. Talk to you guys soon.